Over here, valve grinding equipment. It's a quick way valve resurfacer that I bought at an auction. And this red toolbox here is a Blue Point valve seat refacer, and the stones and the grinder and everything else. Right here, this is my parts washer. It uses a biodegradable soap in it for washing and cleaning parts after you get done machining them or want to clean up parts. And this here is my 1340 Smithy granite that I bought a couple years ago. It's got the gearbox on it and the mill head and variable speed. It pretty much does just about anything that I really need it to do. This machine also has a DRO on it, which you see here, and I don't know how I ever got away without using a DRO. A DRO sure makes it easy for everybody. And you know, a little bit more 4-jaw chuck, and I've got a 3-jaw chuck for it, and it's really been a good machine. It's not super heavy duty, but for what I need to use, it's big enough where I can mount a Harley Davidson case on it and bore the case when you want to put oversized cylinders and pistons in it and whatnot. More toolboxes, and you know, the drawers have, you know, micrometers and center drills and you name it. More indicators and you know, micrometers and dial calipers and everything else. There's another toolbox that's all full of tools, and this box here has got reamers in it, all different sizes, and parallels and all that, depth mic, and here's some of my machinist tools down here in this drawer, some of which I bought on Craigslist and whatnot, some of what I made, like this tool here I use for when I want to hold a Harley Davidson crank, in the vise and don't want it to turn. Why, I put this in between the jaws of the vise and set the crank down in there and tighten the jaws up, and it locks on the shaft of the crankshaft. And over here is my Wilton bandsaw. Every shop needs to have a bandsaw. Pretty useful tool. And over here is a Pittsburgh cutter grinder. Got both the wheels on it, and for sharpening tool bits, and bench grinder with a belt on it and everything like that. And then over here is a Nomar motorcycle tire installer. That's a real good machine. You don't use it real often, but when you need it, you need it. And then over here underneath the plastic bag is the Carbide tool cutter grinder. Grind end mills on it and sharpen up carbide tooling and everything like that. And that's a little bit about that. And then over here, some engine parts for an engine that I'm working on for a customer. I just started working on that yesterday. He dropped it off yesterday. He bought it used and didn't know anything about it, and he wanted it taken apart and have it inspected. And this is the cylinder block. It's a 434 cubic inch small block Chevy. The guy had ran it and damaged it. Had nitrous oxide on it and burnt the piston, and he put one new piston in it. Some of the cylinder walls, as you can see, have had some pitting on them. So I'm going to take it all apart and inspect it and go through everything and make sure everything is where it needs to be. And over here, this is my 2014 Harley Davidson Fat Boy. Bought this bike brand new, and last year I spent about 6 months collecting parts and built a 124 cubic inch motor for it. Runs really good, really good. Got about 700 miles on it. A lot of fun. And over here, this is a friend of mine's hot rod, and about a year ago, I helped him build the motor in it and set the fuel injection up, and he hasn't had a lot of miles on it because he got it done late in the fall, and he painted the car absolutely beautiful color. He did a fantastic job. And over the winter, he had the interior done. There you can see the seats and safety harnesses and all that kind of